episode of the UNathletic podcast. As you all well know, the finals are over, and the 2022 NBA champions are none other than the Bay's very own Golden State Warriors. And your finals MVP is Wardell. Let that sink in for a minute. Just feels great, man. Again, welcome back to the UNathletic podcast. I am your host, CJ. Please, again, you guys, I'm going to do my same usual shtick. Please like, share, subscribe, follow me on social media at CJ the UNathletic, all that good stuff. But let's just get to the crux of the matter, right? The Golden State Warriors. Bro, listen, I'm so happy. I am now the fan of champions, which by default makes me, which again, I had nothing to do with it, but makes me a champion. I am a champion fan. Say it like that, right? Once again, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, when healthy and when available, are undefeated in the postseason. Look at it. All across the board. I don't know, people's first thing is, what about 2016, CJ? Well, 2016, Draymond Green was suspended. Wasn't available for I believe it was game 5. So again, when Stephen Curry, Wardell Stephen Curry, Klay Alexander Thompson, and Draymond Green are all available, that's the key word here, available, and healthy, the Golden State Warriors are undefeated in the postseason. It's crazy. Stephen Curry. I'm gonna start with Steph. He this season got the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP trophy. He then went on into the postseason and got the Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP trophy. And now is a 4-time NBA champion and has the Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP trophy. Let's Wardell Stephen Curry, the man that many people said would never win another championship. Yes, that was said on ESPN. It's going around all of social media. Go on Twitter right now. You will see pictures of Kendrick Perkins, I believe, and 3 other people from ESPN who literally go like this. And the question at the bottom of the screen is, how many championships will Steph win, or will Steph win another championship in the next 4 years? And today that question was answered officially. The answer was a resounding yes. Now, I'm not going to be a poor sport, and I'm not going to be a sore winner and rub it in the fact that the Golden State Warriors won. But I do want to clear up a few misnomers that were thrown out there. there were people who kept saying Boston's the better team. Where? And that's a genuine question. The only edge that Boston had on the Warriors, two things: size, or actually three: size, athleticism, and they had the number one ranked defense in the NBA. Outside of that, they didn't have really much of a leg up on anything else. Like, literally across the board. Their bench, non-existent. Inconsistent. It just, I don't, like, what, you can't argue this with me right now. Derek White disappeared for multiple games. Grant Williams had moments, had an impact, no lie. But again, not enough. Daniel Tice only played in like 2 games that I can recall. Peyton Pritchard, who I was told was gonna make a difference. I don't know, man. I listen. I can only speak on what I've said. I said that GP2 was going to be a factor, and he was. He had an impact on the defense that was played in these finals by the Golden State Warriors. Then you've got Jordan Poole. Had a couple of decent games. Games 5 and 6. Did what he needed to. Produced. Otto Porter Jr. Produced. Heck, he was even put in the starting lineup for, I believe, the last 3 straight games that the Warriors won. Game 4, 5, and 6. Just saying. Then you even look at Bielitsa. Spot moments. Produced. I don't know what. Man, listen. I don't know what to tell y'all. So many people tried to tell me that there was no way in the world that the Warriors were going to beat Boston in back-to-back games. And I said this on Twitter. I said in Spaces. I didn't tweet this out, but I said in Spaces. I said in order for anyone in these finals to win, certain records were going to have to fall. Because Boston Celtics fans pointed out, Boston has never lost back-to-back games in these playoffs. Okay. That's great. Neither have the Warriors. So somebody's going to have to lose. Somebody's going to have to lose. Something's got to give. Shoot, I said at game 1, Warriors have never lost at home. And what happened? They fell game 1 at home. Just saying. And the crazy thing is that after not only did Boston lose back-to-back games, they lost 3 straight. 3. 3 straight games, people. Now, let me just put on my analyst hat for a quick second, right? Let me just do that real fast. Now, where do I believe Boston went wrong in this series? I'll tell you. Something I consistently said when I was on Twitter in Spaces was that if Boston wants to beat the Golden State Warriors, then they have to get, number one, they have to get multiple guys involved. That was number one. Number two, I said that they cannot ignore Al Horford on offense. And in at least, I'd say 3 out of those games, maybe even 4. Actually, you know what? I say 4 out of those 6 games, they ignored Al Horford. Because if you notice throughout the series, the Warriors made adjustments, right? Just as the Boston Celtics did. One of the adjustments that the Golden State Warriors made was they decided to switch matchups. They put Draymond Green on Jaylen Brown, and they put Klay Thompson on Al Horford. Now, at some point, one would surmise that if you are going to have Klay Thompson matched up against Al Horford, that Boston would have taken advantage of that on a routine, consistent basis, right? But no. On several occasions, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum had tunnel vision. And they decided we are the ones who are going to beat the Golden State Warriors. Not the team, but we are going to beat the Golden State Warriors. I'll tell you another problem that Boston ran into. Another problem is that Boston, being the young team that they are, these guys, honestly, had a lack of maturity. And I don't mean that because I know people are like, whoa, CJ, like, they're not immature. No. Hear me out. Their problem that they ran into during these finals, right, was that on several occasions, consistently through all 6 of these games, they were foul hunting or foul baiting, however you want to coin the phrase or however you want to term it. There were multiple occasions where Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were going to the rim, and their goal was not to actually attempt to score or to try to get the ball in the bucket or even try to show that their intention was to score. It was to actually draw a foul. It was to draw the whistle. And the fact of the matter is that in these playoffs and in these finals, the referees essentially were like, look, you are going to have to show us that your intention is to score and not look for us to blow a whistle. Several occasions, Jason Tatum, frustrated, angry, and is telling the refs, that's a foul. Hunting and wanting foul calls. And not just deliberately putting your head down, trying to get to the rim to finish. That's not how this works in the NBA Finals, fellas, ladies, fans of the Celtics. That's not how this works. If you want to earn your foul, if you want to earn the call, you have to work for it. That's just what it is. You can't bum rush to the rim, flail and flop and think that that's just going to get you the call. It's not. It didn't happen the entire series. Now, yeah, were there moments where exaggerated contact happened on offensive fouls or even defensive fouls and things of that nature? Absolutely. But specifically when it comes to driving to the rim, what had to happen was you had to have the intent to score, not the intent to be looking at the referees trying to get a foul call. That's not how this works. It just doesn't. It doesn't work that way. And then the other issue, the biggest and obvious issue, turnovers. Now, Marcus Smart doesn't have the best handles. Not really tight and disciplined with the ball handling. Jaylen Brown, not tight with the handles. Sometimes plays with the ball a little too much, trying to do hezzies and crossovers and, just trying to trip guys up and drop guys and all things of that nature, trying to create space and drive to the rim. And you cannot do that in the finals. Jason Tatum. He tried to attempt the Harden rip through multiple times throughout this series. It doesn't work. He's one of the bigger culprits. He constantly would go to the rim trying to force a foul call. Get upset with the refs when he wouldn't get the call. Fall behind on defense because he's trying to argue the call. Now listen, I'm not trying to disparage the Boston Celtics. I actually want to give Boston a lot of credit. I want to give them their due respect. The Boston Celtics, if you remember, early in the season looked like a team that was going to completely fall apart and fall well short of expectations. If I remember correctly, at one point, they were 10th in the Eastern Conference during the season. And fans and media thought they were dead in the water. And Ime Udoka turned that team around and made them the best defense in the NBA. Carried them through the first round where they swept the Brooklyn Nets. Carried them through the second round in the semifinals where they beat Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. And then get to the Eastern Conference Finals and beat the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler. And get to the NBA Finals to face Wardell Stephen Curry, Klay Alexander-Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andrew Christian Wiggins. And Kevon Looney, for that matter. And what happened? Because the funny thing is, right, one of the things I heard when it came to the matchup of Boston versus the Golden State Warriors, oh, Boston is bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic, more youthful. Well, and my response, right? Warriors have always faced teams that were bigger than them. Look at the Cleveland Cavaliers when they had Kevin Love and Timofey Mozgov. Tristan Thompson. Like, this isn't the first time that the Golden State Warriors have faced an opponent with size. The Denver Nuggets with Nikola Jokic, biggest man on the floor. The Memphis Grizzlies, who had Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams. Let's go back in time. Let's go to 2016 when the Warriors faced the Oklahoma City Thunder with Serge Ibaka, Kevin Durant, Steven Adams. Size. And not one time has that stopped them from winning an NBA title. Then, oh, they're more athletic. That's nice. athleticism doesn't win you championships. Oh, well, they have the number 1 defense. The Golden State Warriors have the number 2 defense. And an argument can be made that if it weren't for the injury to Draymond Green during the regular season, they may have continued to be the number 1 defense in the NBA. And Boston would have been the one with the number 2 defense. Oh, they're younger. Well, we see that their youth actually came back to bite them in the behind. I'm being very nice when I say that. Listen, just, again, it feels so good to be the fan of champions again. Now, just to kind of move the conversation along, right? Now there's going to be a narrative going on. Just because this is what happens in sports, right? People win, and all of a sudden people have to reevaluate their rankings. Guys, legacies. They now have to use the new information that they've received to try to use revisionist history to try to reformulate things now, to try to maneuver and regroup things now. And the narrative that's going to be out there now, it's already started, is Stephen Curry a top 10 player of all time? Now, full disclosure, and in all fairness, I personally do not like to participate in those kind of conversations. And you may be thinking to yourself, CJ, why not? Well, reason being is because in sports, it doesn't matter if it's NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, college football, college basketball, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that there is no universal, undisputed, consensus idea of who the greats, or not even the greats, the greatest of the greats are, right? For example, the GOAT conversation, right? There is no universal GOAT. There is no undisputed GOAT. There are some who would say it's Michael Jordan. There are some who would say that it's LeBron James. There are even some who would say it's Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You might even find some that want to say it's Larry Bird. But there is no undisputed, universal top 10 list. There are some people who would put Shaquille O'Neal in their top 10. And there's some that won't. There's some that put Michael Jordan in their top 10. There are some who put Magic Johnson in their top 10. Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Isaiah Thomas. Like, there's a bevy of guys throughout the history of the NBA that you could say, I put him in my top 10. I want people to understand, I don't get into that conversation for the simple fact that it's subjective. It's all about what you, the consumer of sports, or you as a fan, what is your jug? Like, what do you like, or what do you prefer? Me personally, I like guys who play on both sides of the floor. That's my preference. I prefer players who play on both sides of the floor. So my top 10 may not be the same as yours, or your aunties, or your uncles, or your grandma, or your grandpa. Nobody has this exact same top 10 list. There is no universal top 10 list. Everybody's is different. That's why I don't like to get into the conversation. Is Stephen Curry a top 10 player of all time? And I've said this on multiple occasions. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's a quote that I love to use when it comes to sports, because too many times when we sit back and we have sports discourse and we have sports conversation, we big up one guy only to tear down another guy, to elevate the guy that we're trying to build up. Prime example, there's going to be a narrative that this was a Mickey Mouse championship for the Golden State Warriors. Only because people want to disqualify or disregard, or not even disregard, discount. That's what it is. People want to discount the hard work that both Boston and the Golden State Warriors put in to get to this point. There are people who are going to say, well, he didn't beat LeBron James. Well, LeBron didn't get here, right? LeBron didn't work his way to get to the finals, nor did he work his way to get to the playoffs, for that matter. But that doesn't mean that this championship means any more or less just because the Warriors didn't face off against LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. This championship doesn't mean any less just because the Phoenix Suns, who were the number one team in the West, couldn't get past the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic. Like, we have to just sit back and appreciate what is going on right in front of us. Wardell Stephen Curry now has 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous, 4 NBA titles, 1 Western Conference Finals MVP, 1 NBA Finals MVP. Finally, Steph has a Finals MVP. Long overdue, in my opinion. Not only that, Steph has been All-NBA. Steph has been an all-star starter, all-star captain. And the crazy thing is, he broke the all-time three-point record this year as well. Hell of a year. Shout out to Wardell Stephen Curry. Incredible. Shout out to Klay Thompson, who overcame two major injuries to his legs. Torn Achilles, torn ACL. 1 on each leg. Literally, tore an ACL on one leg, tore an Achilles on another leg. And look where he is now. A champion. Oh, man. It just feels amazing. It really does. And then, again, I don't want to be a sore winner. I want to be a poor sport. But let's also make this clear. I was right. It's my podcast. I'm just going to say I was right. CJ was right. Well, how was I right? Well, if you go back to prior videos, prior episodes of the UNathletic podcast, you'll see what I said and you'll understand why I am saying that I was right. Number 1, my prediction, I said Dubs in 6. That's what I said. Dubs in 6. That's number 1. Number two, the series went exactly as I expected it to, for the most part. Game one was the only thing that kind of threw me off, and I did not expect for Boston to win game one. But from that point forward, right, game two, I said Warriors are going to win. It's going to be fine. They're going to adjust, and they're going to get back to what they need to do, for the simple fact that they were not prepared to take the punch that Boston gave them in game one. Also, I do believe there was a lack of respect and appropriate fear for the opponent, which is why the Warriors lost game one. And they came back in game two and they won the game, right? Now, game three, going to Boston, after Draymond Green and the kind of shenanigans he had, plus the kind of defense and how physical the Warriors were in game two, I knew going back into Boston, game three, they weren't going to get away with the same kind of stuff. Go back and look at the other episodes. You'll literally hear me say that Draymond is not going to get away with the same stuff he did in Golden State in game two, game three in Boston. He's not going to get away with the same stuff. What happened? Boston wins game three. Game four, I said Warriors can bounce back. Warriors can win game four. And you know what happens in game four? Stephen Curry happens in game four. Game four, Steph goes off for 43. And they win. Now we move on to game five, back in the Bay. And what happens? Warriors win once again. And the funny thing is that, let me just go back. So game three, or not game three, excuse me, game four and game five, right? So after game four, I said the Warriors have momentum going into game five, for the simple fact that they won on the road, going home. And in this series, I mentioned that both teams have gotten a little bit of home cooking with the officiating. So, Warriors went on the road. Going back home, there was some momentum. They win game five, excuse me. Now it's game six. And I said this. It's not so much the momentum aspect of it, but it was the simple fact that Steve Kerr told them after the game five win, he said, we're ending this in Boston. Kerr sent a direct message to the entire team. We are not going to be working on Father's Day / Juneteenth. Nope, we will not. Steph, we're going to end this in Boston. Klay Thompson, we're going to end this in Boston. Draymond Green, we're going to end this in Boston. Andrew Wiggins, we're going to end this in Boston. I jokingly said on Twitter I text Steph and he told me, nah, bro, we're ending this in 6 because I don't feel like working on Father's Day. I just want to sit back and enjoy Ryan, Riley, and Cannon and Aisha. I don't feel like working on Father's Day. So we're going to end it tonight in Boston. And that's exactly what happened. Once again, congratulations to the NBA 2022 NBA champions, the Golden State Warriors, the Bay's team, my favorite team, with one of my favorite players, Wardell, Stephen Curry, getting his first NBA Finals MVP trophy. It's unfortunate that Bill Russell couldn't make it to hand it to him. That would have been so apropos. It would have been so poetic to see Boston fans have to watch as one of the greatest Celtics ever has to hand Stephen Curry the Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP trophy. But once again, I am so happy and I am so proud of every single player on that roster. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, Andre Iguodala, Otto Porter Jr., Chris Chiozza, for those who don't know who that is, Quindary Weatherspoon, Nemanja Bjelica, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, every single guy on that roster, Damian Lee, Gary Payton II, they are your 2022 NBA champions. And it's just beautiful. It really is. I love it, man. Like, and the crazy thing is, right? Let's just do a quick little bit of forecasting. So you have Stephen Curry, who I believe at this point is 34 years old. Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, both 32. You got some young dogs off that bench in Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, James Wiseman. Next season, going to be really interesting. Really interesting. Because remember, keep this in mind. Warriors technically weren't fully healthy for these finals. I'm just saying, James Wiseman wasn't out there. Hope he gets well soon. No, he's going to be playing in the Summer League. At least that's what's being reported. If he's cleared and fully healthy, he's going to play in the NBA Summer League this year, this offseason. Yeah, man. Listen, this is all about the Golden State Warriors right now. I don't have nothing else I really want to talk about. Golden State has to be one of the greatest franchises in the modern era. With Joe Lacob, Peter Guber, owners, Bob Myers, one of the premier general managers in the NBA. Steve Kerr, one of the best coaches in the NBA today. Today, one of the best coaches in the NBA. And then not only that, they have a great coaching staff. Shout out to Mike Brown, who will be heading to Sacramento next season as the head coach for them. Gets to go in there as a champion. Shout out to Kenny Atkinson, another assistant coach, who's going to be headed out the door, and he's going to the Charlotte Hornets. Goes out the door with a championship. Man, I'm telling you. And then, like, just to kind of give this as well. There have been reports that there are teams all across the league who are grumbling about the way that the Golden State Warriors spend their money. Don't understand why. Don't get why teams are so, I don't like the fact that they're spending so much money. I don't like the fact that they're able to pay Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. I don't like it. Andrew Wiggins, I don't like it. It's unfair that they have all this talent. I don't like that they give Steph the super max, Klay the max, and Draymond Green the max, and and Andrew Wiggins a max, and how are they going to keep Jordan Poole? They're going to have to make decisions. They can't keep them all. Otto Porter Jr. is going to want to go. Jordan Poole's going to want to go start somewhere else. Like, he's not going to want to play for them. Listen, man. The Golden State Warriors are doing the same thing that every other team has the opportunity to do, which is to gather the best collection of talent you can for your team. Get yourself a coach. And as an owner, be willing to spend money. Don't be a cheap owner. Don't be one of those owners who shies away from paying luxury tax. Because if I remember correctly, and if this is accurate, I believe that the Golden State Warriors are now over the cap, and they have been for the past, I want to say maybe 3 years, right? From the moment Kevin Durant left to now, I believe, if I remember correctly, they have been over the cap. And you know what Joe Lacob said about the cap? At least I'm paraphrasing here, using my imagination. He said, forget a luxury tax. Because Joe Lacob is a competitive owner. Joe Lacob wants to win. He has a burning desire to win, to be great, to do something that no one has ever done before. That is what they want done. But teams that aren't willing to do the same things gotta spend money. How's the saying go? You gotta break some eggs in order to make a omelet. Like, you're going to have to break the bank. In sports, as an owner, you can't afford to be cheap. You're going to have to cash out one way or the other. And Bob Myers, Joe Lacob, Peter Guber, and the Golden State Warriors decided, you know what? Forget the luxury tax. We're going to put together the best collection of talent possible and win. And win. Let me make that very clear, because once again, every player in the league does not come into the league to win championships. Every coach in the league doesn't necessarily get the opportunities to coach in a championship on an organization team. Like, that's not everybody, right? Like, at the end of the day, I just want you guys to know that, yes, I will be at the championship parade. I'm going to go. It is on Monday in San Francisco. I believe it starts on 6th. No, it ends on 6th and Market. And I believe it starts on either Market and Main Street or somewhere else. I will probably post that later as to where it will start and where it will end, just so if there's anybody who's in the Bay Area who wants to see the Golden State Warriors 2022 NBA Finals Championship Parade, I will be posting when and where the championship parade is. Obviously, it's going to be in San Francisco, but just the particular streets and blocks and whatnot, right? Now, last thing I just want to say is that it's about time that Andrew Wiggins sheds that bust narrative. It's about time that Stephen Curry sheds that, oh, he's got to win Finals MVP talk. It is now time that people put some respect on Klay Thompson's name. It is now about that time that people put respect on Draymond Green's name. It's about that time. Now, I'm not gonna keep boring y'all because y'all know who won. Y'all know the Golden State Warriors are the champs, and that Wardell, Stephen Curry is the Finals MVP with 4 rings, 4 of them things. So thank you again for tuning in to this week's episode of the UNathletic Podcast, Championship Edition. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit the notification button so that you don't miss out on any content from the podcast. And please, 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 please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at CJ the UNathletic, because I will be at the Warriors Championship Parade. And I will be posting content on YouTube as well as on Instagram. I am going to be out there enjoying the beautiful gold-blooded vibes as they shower confetti everywhere and as we celebrate the Bays team, who is now the best team in San Francisco, to congratulate them on a job well done. Your Golden State Warriors, Bay Area, are now the 2022 NBA champions. I will see y'all when I see y'all. I appreciate you once again for tuning in. Please follow me on social media at CJ the UNathletic. Again, that's at CJ TheUNathletic. I appreciate y'all. And I appreciate the Celtics fans who gonna have to pay up on a bet that I made on Twitter. But I'll see you when I see you. Peace.